Okay, recording is started. I'll just repeat. So basically, I'm just first of all putting into focus the points which you need to understand while doing Java code basics. Okay, because many people are facing problems on that front. So firstly, you have to understand that you have to verify whether the chart that you have cast is correct. So chart verification is the first thing. What I've learned from my experience is initially till you get in tune with the chart, or whether you get in tune with astrology or whatever it is, the chart many times doesn't come correct. Okay, now invariably it comes correct because maybe some sort of a connection has happened or what, I don't know. So basically first thing is verification. So verification ke liye you have to see whether the hora is telling you the similar thing, whether the udayam is telling you the correct thing, whether the aruda is giving you the correct thing. All these things first you need to check to understand first of all whether the chart is correct or not. That is the first thing. Second thing is basically you need to find out which is that subject which I have told earlier also. Okay, whether the person who's asking the question is the Udayam, or is the situation is the Udayam, or if the person is asking about somebody else, is that the Udayam. So that is the second thing to basically clarify whether what is Udayam. So first is verification. Second one is understanding which is Udayam. Third thing is basically don't take Kavipu as a damager all the time. Kavipu also tells you the secret behind the question. So basically, which planet is approaching Kavipu is telling you what is going to happen, and which planet Kavipu is catching is trying to tell what is happening right now. So that is also one way of looking at it. These are the ways which I analyze it and which are helping me. So that's what I'm sharing with you all. So basically these 3 or 4 points if you take into consideration, also consider the Hora. Hora is also the ruling planet of the minute. So basic of the hour. So basically that will also tell you where to look at. Okay. So based on these, now let's start off on this case. So this is a case, it's a live case. The hearing is going to be on 3rd of March. So this person is expecting an 18-month jail sentence because of some malpractice, whatever it is. So, is it going to happen or is it not going to happen? And what are the other repercussions? So, now I want you to analyze this and tell me. First of all, verify and then go on. See the exalted debilitated points also. That will also show something. The Hora Lord need not be as the planet, it can also show up as a Nakshatra Lord. That's another hint.
So can I say something? Okay. So Udayam is in the first house. The question is about self. There is Venus and Mercury. So something to do with the money and the communication or the commitment regarding to that. And since the Hora is Saturn, so is it related to the career or something? No.
I mean, Hora, Saturn, career, that is correct. But Mercury you caught, you have caught it correctly, but you have not analyzed it correctly. Mercury is first of all which lord, which house lord? All of you, just anyone can tell. Is it Mercury the
Third,
third house?
third, and sixth,
Third
third,
or sixth?
third, and sixth. Yeah,
So 3 is what? 3 is document. 6 is what? Litigation.
litigation.
Barabar.
Court case.
Basically, the third and the sixth lord, that is the documentation related to litigation, is going towards the 12th house. See the top over there I've written. The sixth, third and sixth lord, that is the documentation related to litigation, is going towards the 12th house. 12th is what? In this case, out of 300 thing, what is 12? 12 is isolation, jail, no?
Okay. Yeah.
What is the degree of Mercury? 18 degrees. Mercury, JAMA Mercury, 18 degrees 33 minutes. Correct? What does
Yes.
that, is there some connection between 18 months and 18 this thing and going to the 12th Rashi? 12th house, 12th Rashi, whatever. Can you see that? 18 months? Okay. Now, maybe I will prompt you all and you tell me. Venus is exalted in the 12th. Don't read that purple thing which I have written. Venus is exalted in the 12th house in the nakshatra of Saturn, which also happens to be the Badak Lord. What is this trying to tell you?
Something to do with the money.
No,
Uh,
Venus is what? 7th Lord.
Opposite part.
Marriage, opposite person.
Opposite part.
Opposite party is strong in the 12th house. Saturn is what? Saturn is a cold, dark place.
Yeah.
Saturn is also the Badak Lord over here. Something Badak means something which will hold back that person. So can this also say that the opposite person is strong in the, I'm talking Red Indian language, okay? Don't catch me on the English. Is strong in the jail zone, which is the jail zone for the native. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the opposite party is strong in the 12th. So that is one thing. Where is the Udayam Lord seated? He is seated in the 4th house
Debilitate.
in the nakshatra of 3/6 Lord Mercury.
Yeah.
So what is that trying to tell you?
He's debilitated, first of all, and
So he is weak.
he is weak.
4th house is what? His own house.
One house. Yeah.
Correct. And Mercury is because of the document related to litigation.
Yeah.
Correct. Now see the Kavipu link. That the link, what I mean by link is which planet is coming to Kavipu and which planet Kavipu is catching. So if Sun in the nakshatra of Sun in the 6th house of litigation is coming towards Kavipu, what is that trying to tell you? That we are trying to get some hint related to government,
Government authority.
and 6th is litigation. 6th, which is ruled by Mercury, which is also document, that is coming towards Kavipu.
Notice.
Now this Kavipu, which is in Ketu, what is Ketu? Confinement,
Isolation.
detachment, isolation.
Yeah.
Okay, that is getting connected to Mars. Mars is what? Udayam Lord. It is Mars is weak, and Mars is in the nakshatra of Mercury, 3rd, 6th Lord of document related litigation. What is this entire link trying to tell you? That some legal notice or some documentation from the government is coming related to isolation, wherein the native is not strong in the home front. So does that point that because there is a possibility that they can ask for home arrest sort of a thing. So this shows weak in the home. So that means he will be away from home. Correct. And basically the Jupiter, which is the 12th lord of isolation, is seated in the 3rd house of away from home,
Yeah.
in the nakshatra of Mars, which is Udayam Lord. Can you see this? Now the same thing. This is his D1 chart. Okay, I hope you can all see the D1 chart. Now, if you let me just put it together, you will see the comparison. Basically, if you see all this that is happening over here is in the fourth Rashi. Here again in this 4th Rashi is Mercury Sun. His Dasha which is going on is Venus Rahu. So basically Venus is his ascendant lord only. And Rahu is here in the 11th house. So both dasha lords, so basically the Venus and Rahu both are in the Rashi of Sun, which is government. The Sun is seated in the 12th to itself, in the nakshatra of Aslesha, Mercury. It is seated along with Mercury, which is also the 12th lord of isolation, in the nakshatra of Saturn, cold dark place. Can you see this thing? All this is happening exactly over here. If you see the Kavipur link is all ending up over here. If I draw a line here, it will come here. So this is basically, there are lots of other things, but just now I'm just showing you this. So basically here I've written both dasha lords in Surya Rashi, which sits with the 12th lord Mercury in the 10th house. So Surya's government, Mercury's document, 12th house Mercury is in Saturn, that is jail, needs to be worked on. 12th lord Mercury gets debilitated in 6th house 12th Rashi of litigation. So this is the remedy part, so let me not get to that. But if you see this chart, you will see that presently the Mercury, the Sun, the Dasha lords, both Mahadasha and Antardasha lords, are seated in the Sun Rashi. Sun is government. And in this case, the Sun is seated in the 12th to itself. So that is one main portion. Have you understood? So here actually I wanted to show you how the Jamapal chart and the D1 chart connect.
So in the D1 also, the Badaka is coming into play. For Tula, Leo is the Badaka house.
This is the Badaka.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that is the Badak house also, correct. And the Badak Lord also, Surya is there.
So,
All understood this? Any doubts so far? So basically, you see, I have written down everything. What I want you to do is, if you just keep it Sunday to Sunday, no, you'll not make much progress. I am sharing with you live cases. Okay, so third, whenever that answer comes out, I'll tell you that, whatever it is. But the thing is, you will need to read this and sort of start analyzing it yourself if you want to make any progress in that. Now, I'll take up the second case. Sakal.
Sir, then the calculation about 18 months, I didn't get the calculation for 18 months, which is written on the top actually.
Here, if you see this,
Yeah.
Mercury is what? Mercury is basically the third and the sixth lord, correct? So third is what? Documentation, sixth is what? Litigation. It is also the judgment, Mercury. So judgment related to Venus. Venus is what? The seventh lord. This Mercury is going to take how many degrees to reach the 12th house of isolation? 18 degrees. So there is a catch over there, because the 3rd of March is the this thing, what is it called, the top. So from 27th, if you see, I have written the calculation over here also. From 27 it comes to 1 month 5 days from there, which is approximately 3rd of March. Okay, so the verdict is also coming. You can see this later on, you calculate here. But what I have done is 27th, no? So 27th of January. So 4 days over there, plus 28 days of February, plus 3 days of March. That comes to 35 days. And here, if you calculate, it is coming to the 1 month and 8 days. Something very close. It is not coming very close. But then this 18 months is what is coming over here. So 18 equal to 18 months jail I have written over.
Okay.
Now let's take this one. This is a case which I took up yesterday only. You can start from this D1 chart if you want. This boy got married, then got divorced. Here I have written over here. 27 December 21 he got married. 8th of February 24 divorce. Okay. Now his father is very. The father is very desperate that the boy gets married. He is very panicky and all that. Okay. So he has asked some other astrologers and also. So when he came to me, so now what do you make out of this? Don't read the middle part. What do you make out of his marriage part from the D1 point of view? Then we'll correlate it to the Jamapada. If you have to see marriage, what will you first see? Seventh house.
Third Rashi
Seventh
in this
Lord.
case, seventh, yeah, and third Rashi.
Manasika?
Seventh, so we look at the opposite, and which is the third Rashi in this case.
In seventh house. So
Ketu.
Seventh house.
seventh Lord is seated where?
12th house.
12th house.
Seventh, yeah.
In the nakshatra of what? Saturn.
Saturn.
Barabar. So firstly, seventh Lord in the 12th house. What does it tell you? Two things. Always think of the positive or negative and the positive. 12th, 7th Lord in 12th. Negative क्या है?
Loss.
Loss.
Positive क्या है? Positive में उसका तोड़ क्या है? What is the तोड़? Tod is what I don't know what you call tod. Tod is the antidote of it.
The wife can't be abroad.
Yes. Either he marries a foreigner or he marries abroad or he marries a girl who's of foreign origin, which she may be Indian but born abroad, foreign citizen. Correct? Okay. Remember this point. वो बाद में आ जाएगा. Now, his Datta houses are 7th Rashi and 10th Rashi. Okay. Now, if you see his, what else can we say about his marriage? Just now, his Rahu and Sun Dasha.
Sir, can we make out from this chart कि first marriage में क्या हुआ होगा या what could have been the possible cause?
So tell me, no? Just now,
I'm asking.
just now I said the same thing. No? The 7th Lord in 12th house is what? Loss of marriage. No?
So यदि वो foreign से foreigner से या so that way I mean we can say that it will work. It should work, right?
See, the planet also in the 7th house has got, see, always the planet is like a tenant. The tenant is the one who will influence the house more than the owner. So, who is seated in the 7th house? Ketu. Ketu is what? Cut. Ketu is in the nakshatra of Ardra. Ardra means Rahu. Rahu is what? Foreign. So, Ketu, cut. Rahu, foreign. Ketu, cut. Rahu, disruptor. That is one option, which he has done just now. Second one is Ketu, detachment, away from home. Rahu, foreign. 7th house of marriage. If again the same reconfirmation has come over there. If he marries somebody, either he goes abroad and gets married, away from the family and gets married, or married to a person who is, in simple words, foreigner.
Alright.
This is the second thing over there. Anything else you can see over here about his marriage, second marriage, whatever? Second marriage ka kaun sa?
Look at Jupiter,
Ninth.
ascendant Lord Jupiter sitting in the 9th house.
Correct. So ascendant Lord Jupiter seated in the 9th house is what? That too in the nakshatra of Venus, which is the 6th and the 11th Lord. What is that trying to tell you about the second marriage?
It's the second from the first marriage, from the 7th house. It's second from, no,
Third from the-
yeah, third from there, sorry, which is
Third is
second.
addition, yeah.
That is the second marriage, correct?
So, but इसमें how can we say that by just seeing this chart कि there is a possibility of a second marriage? Yeah, first marriage won't work. Like if a chart comes to us and we don't know that this is his first or second, can we just make out?
Basically, when 7th house has got some flaw, whether it's first or second or 10th marriage, whatever it is, there is going to be some issue related to marriage which needs to be looked into. Barabar? So basically the 7th house itself, first of all, is a badak. That could be something to be concerned about. वहाँ पर केतु in Rahu बैठा है, that is the second thing to be concerned about. And third thing, the owner of that house is seated in the 12th house, 8th Rashi. That is the third thing to be careful about. So, like normally I don't entertain people who just give a blank chart and tell me, okay, talk. I don't like that. I would want a specific question and then I'll look into it. I don't have time to keep digging the entire thing. So this person has come related to marriage, divorce, and second marriage. So I will concentrate on 7th house, 7th lord, 9th house, 9th lord. Correct. And Baki ka whatever falls into place will come into place. So here 7th house itself is showing a problem over here. Now if you are looking at, now they are concerned about the second marriage. So you cannot forget the 7th house because 7th house is a basic house of marriage. But we are seeing the 9th house. Now like Manasi said, 9th house has got the Udayam Lord, Ascendant Lord over there. So what is Ascendant Lord in the 9th house? In the nakshatra of 6th and 11th Lord Venus tell you. Venus is the 6th and the 11th Lord. 11th is also 6th from the 6th. 6th is what? Anti-marriage.
Disputes.
Disputes. That is seated in the Rashi of Surya, which is the Antardasha Lord. And that is seated debilitated in the 11th house of Ikshapurti, 7th Rashi of natural marriage, seated in the Dagda Rashi, along with Mars, which is not only the 12th and the 5th Lord, it is also the Karak of marriage. Sankar.
Sir, Venus is also Dharakarka and it is debilitated, weak.
Venus is the Dharakaraka, that I don't know, I'll have to see that. But here you can see Venus is the Dharakaraka, okay.
And it is weak, like 6th Lord is Venus only, and it is weak.
नहीं 6th Lord debilitated means anti-marriage is debilitated ऐसे हो गया. So in a way that is not bad. That means that शादी हो जाएगा उसका.
Sir, or can we say that the 9th Lord sitting in the 11th, debilitated, and the dispositor of that 9th Lord is debilitated in
10th house.
Yeah.
Correct. That also shows that the second marriage might not work out. No?
Yes.
Now even if you see the Sun, which is the 9th Lord, debilitated in the 11th house of Ichhapurti, in Rahu, again it is trying to say the same thing, that second marriage, Sun, Rahu, disruptor, you change the Karatattva of that. Second marriage, Sun, Rahu, foreign. Mars, which is seated with it, is the 12th Lord of loss, 12th Lord of foreign settlement. Correct? Mars is in what nakshatra? Mars is in Swati, Rahu. Mars is again in Rahu. Again it is trying to tell the same thing. Now let's see what Jamakol is trying to tell us. Is it verified first of all? Where is the Udayam? Udayam is here. If you see here, even the Jamakal Sun has come debilitated over here. Can you see this? The 7th Lord has come debilitated in the 9th house. Can you see the comparative? Here if you see, the 9th Lord of second marriage is seated debilitated in the 7th Rashi of marriage. Here if you see, the 7th Lord of marriage is seated debilitated in Rahu again in the 9th house of second marriage. Can you see the comparison between both? This is one thing which I have observed since quite some time now, that the D1 and the Jamakol have a lot of connect in between each other. Okay, so basically here if you see, what is this trying to tell you? That marriage per se, second marriage per se, it is weak in that. Can you see that? Now, ninth house is also overseas travel in a way. Seventh Rashi is also marriage. That is also Badak. So, second marriage also can be a problem unless seventh lord, which is the spouse, का Rahu का this thing is changed. Karak Tattva of Rahu is changed. That will be the only way in which this can be rectified. Any thoughts you have on this? Can you also see the Kavipu link which will tell the secret behind the hidden secret behind this? Saturn is what? Saturn is the ascendant Udayam Lord. It is in Jupiter, which is the second and 11th Lord. Second is addition to family, 11th is Ichhapurti. Is going towards the 12th house of foreign settlement, catching Kavipu, which is in the nakshatra of Moon, which is again the 6th Lord of anti-marriage, and which is going and catching Moon in the nakshatra of Sun, which is the 7th Lord, and also the Hora. What is this trying to tell you? That some connection related to marriage, related to anti-marriage, related to 12th house. Are you getting the point? It's a little tricky. You'll have to start actually going deeper.
So he should not consider second marriage.
Should not like this will like I keep saying what Kavipu has been doing nowadays. What I feel is it is telling you new things. Please come and say hello. Please, there is a visitor over here. The
Hi.
expert astrologer is here.
How's everyone?
Everyone is very.
All good.
Thank you.
Hi, Mansha.
Hi.
Everyone is tense.
Why?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Chalo, you all continue. Sorry. Bye.
So if the what is it Kavipu, which is telling you the hidden meaning behind it. So Manasi, what are you trying to say? Is it trying to tell you she should do this or not do this?
I mean, it's not looking very positive, right? I mean, the signs are not very.
Hidden meaning. Moon is also travel. Moon is also change. Moon actually is seated in the 7th from its Rashi. Correct? And moon is in the nakshatra of the 7th Lord, which is the second to itself, addition to family. So in very simple words, moon, which is the 6th Lord of anti-marriage, is seated in the nakshatra of 7th Lord of marriage. And they are seated in the 12th house of loss. Now change the entire thing. 6th Lord of anti-marriage ke badle take a change or take a travel. 7th Lord of marriage, keep it as it is, Sun. 12th house of loss ke badle do a foreign. Are you understanding? So basic this thing is how to change the Karak Tattva. That I call it Tod. Tod means I don't know what is the right word for Tod. Tod is actually like an antidote sort of a thing you can say. Ki iska Tod kya hai? So the Tod is to change the Karak Tattva of that. So again it is trying to tell us that if he marries somebody who is either settled abroad or is a foreigner, or he goes and marries abroad, it would be okay. But overall, is his marriage going to be good or bad? I mean, does he need to be careful about that? That is my next question. Overall. See from Jamakwal and see from this. In Jamakwal, what is it trying to tell you? 7th Lord debilitated in the 9th house of Bhagya. And again in the nakshatra of Rahu. Rahu means basically when you see Rahu, it is something you have to be careful about because it can go either ways. In the 7th Rashi of marriage, natural this thing. Now you see his D1. His seventh house has got Ketu and Rahu in it, and the seventh lord is seated in the 12th house, 8th Rashi, in the nakshatra of Saturn, which is the Dagda lord. So overall, what can you say in overall views about his marriage, first or second or whatever it is?
Second also he has to
Not
be
easy.
careful. Not easy.
To be careful on the marriage front. Barabar, that is it. Anything else you all want to see? Otherwise, I've just cast one chart before the class started. We can take it up live only. I am not.
सर फॉरेन लैंड आपने ये बोला कि फॉरेन लैंड में शादी करे, है ना? शुरू में तो
12th house.
हाँ, शुरू में तो फॉरेन लैंड यानी अपनी सिटी छोड़ के कुछ भी अगर आप बाहर रह रहे हो तो वो फॉरेन लैंड ही हो जाता था,
Paraya Desh. Pardesh is Paraya
है
Desh.
ना?
Desh where the culture is only different. You go and settle down in Chettinad and get married, that is also Paraya Desh for you.
दैट्स व्हाट आई वांट कि बाहर रहे, और अगर बाहर रहेंगे भी तो लॉस ही है ना, पेरेंट्स का साथ रहेगा, एक तरह से लॉस ही है।
Loss, you cannot say, that will be isolation. Isolation from home, isolation from parents, whatever it is.
हम्म
So if he marries, see, if he stays with the parents and still marries a foreigner or somebody
हम्म
from a different religion, then he's safe. Barabar. But if he marries somebody from the same caste, from the same what is it called, area, whatever, that is actually dangerous. No?
ओके
Should we go to the third case? Okay, now this third case I've just cast before the class. If you see here, 838, that person asked me. Now the thing is, this is a friend of mine. His daughter is in USA. She just finished her masters, and now there is a big problem. I have not actually understood the case, but overall, I'll tell you what the thing is. She wants to come to India for a holiday, but I believe the Trump has made some major changes in the visa rules. I'm not aware of that. So and she doesn't have that H1 visa as yet, the work visa. So basically, if she comes here, there is a possibility she will not be able to go back. And second thing is whether the job which she presently is in is also a little dugmug just now. So they are sort of हाँ नहीं कर रहे. So whether her job will also be what is it, safe, and whether it is safe for her to travel here so that she can go back again. This is the basic question. I've just cast it and quickly made the chart so that we can talk. So now tell me what the thing is. So I'll just tell you what I've done. This is the Udayam, which is 12th Rashi. Udayam Lord is seated here in the 8th house, 7th Rashi. The green one is the basic thing. So the third house is the documentation, right? Permission, documentation, everything. So that is here in the 5th house. Now let's see what comes up. All the Hora, Kaviku, everything is there.
So, sir, we can start it like this. The question about the native is about the foreign land because it's in the 12th and she's in isolation with her family. Now, the Hora is Mercury, so that is about the communication and the communication in the form of visa, yeah, in the
Documentation.
documents and all. And in a way, this the Lord is in the 8th house, that is about the not a very positive thing because
एक मिनट you are doing the right thing but you are doing crisscross एक पकड़ो तो उसका पूरा ब्रह्मांड खोल दो. Now first you said correctly कि उदयम is in the 12th राशि, so something related to foreign, वो ठीक है. Now वही टाइम में करो कि उदयम is which planet is coming towards Udayam, that you say, so moon, so some change that is coming to that thing. Okay, now moon I have not written over there, but नीचे देखो moon is in the Ketu का नक्षत्र, if you see here. So that is detachment. I'll just tell you about one thing, then you go on. Now, where is this fellow seated? Now, go on like that. Just analyze that one point, then move on to. So, just now you said ascendant Udayam Lord 12. Okay, usse aage jao. It is seated in the 8th house. In what nakshatra? Rahu ka nakshatra. Now, what is this telling you first step? Rashmi.
So eighth house is again, not a very. It is all about the litigations, and Rahu is, in a way, the it can go if the things goes well. Matlab that's a sudden and a transition kind of a thing.
Obstacles?
Yeah, both the ways you can take it as, if handled with the right way, with the right technology or whatever it is, or if with the right connects, then it can work well.
Yeah, I have not, I didn't get time to draw the arrows, but can you see Kavipu, Jupiter, which is the Udayam Lord, is coming towards the Kavipu. Jupiter is also the 10th Lord of career. No? Jupiter is the first and 10th Lord. So self and career. And that Jupiter is in the nakshatra of Rahu, which could mean foreign also. Is coming towards Kavipu. Kavipu is again in the nakshatra of Rahu. Can you see this? The second one is
So
the.
disruptions?
It could be. It could be. It can be foreign or it could be this. So basically, come here, and then this Kavipu is catching Mercury. Mercury is what? The documentation. Mercury also talks about documentation. Mercury is in the nakshatra of Venus. Venus is the third lord of documentation over here. So Mercury is the Karak of documentation in the nakshatra of Venus, which is the third lord over here of documentation. And Saturn, which is also the 12th lord, which is in the nakshatra of, I think it's Mars over here. It must be Mars. Yeah. Mars is in that house, the 12th lord. What is this trying to tell us?
That's again the house of documents, right? Third house.
See, this fourth house, I'm analyzing along with you. I have not seen this before. This fourth house is what? Her home, her family, Bombay. Barabar. This is ruled by what? Mercury, which is here, which has actually just got out of exaltation, so it is getting weak. Barabar. Mercury is in the nakshatra of Venus, which happens to be the 8th lord of obstacles, where Kavipu is there, and also the 3rd lord of documentation. And Kavipu is catching that. So is it possible that she will be able to come home to Bombay? Or should she come to Bombay?
She should not be coming.
She should not come to Bombay. Because that Mercury, which is the 4th lord of Bombay, is not only the Badar, it is also the Hora. It's trying to tell you something. And that Mercury is in the nakshatra of Venus, which is the 3rd lord of document and 8th lord of obstacles. 8th house has also got Kavipu in the nakshatra of Rahu, which is foreign. Jupiter, which is the 1st and the 10th lord, in the nakshatra of again Rahu, foreign, is in the 8th house of obstacles. 8th is also major change. So what is it trying to hint? That if she comes here, major change maker, she might not be able to go back. No? Because 8th house is house of obstacles also.
In a way, is it a possibility that she gets kind of married with someone, and then she can get.
It's a good point. What? Barabar bolo?
That if she get married to someone who has the proper documents and all, then she can.
But how did you get it from? From where did you get it? It's a correct option, but I'm not able to catch that point.
From the eighth house only, sir. He just now what you were saying now. So after listening to that, only this came. I mean, even I have to go to that, but.
Yeah, you are right. You are right, but you are not catching it the right way. See, this Mercury is also the 7th lord. Just now, what we are saying, that 4th house, which is home, is the Badak and the Hora also. So it also happens to be the 7th lord, which is the spouse, which is seated in the, which is Mercury, which is also documents. So spouse and documents Mercury is in the nakshatra of Venus, which is again marriage and also the eighth house. So you are changing the karak tattva of that. You are right, but you have got a point which is very complicated. Thoda.
But seventh, sir,
Can we
seventh
also
is
say Mercury is sitting 12th to itself?
That is foreign. No?
Hmm.
Seventh lord in the 12th to itself is the spouse can be either a loss of spouse or it can be a foreign male spouse. No, Mahesh, what is it?
a seventh we can take it as 10th to 10th. So job will also be kind of in a soup if she travels.
Like what Rashmi was saying, is suppose we catch that Mercury. See, we are catching Mercury because first of all, Mercury is the karak of document.
Yeah.
Mercury is the karak of the fourth
Outside.
and the seventh lord. So fourth is basically what? Home, Mumbai. Bro. So if she has to come to Bombay, just now it is showing negative because it is seated in the sixth house. 6, 8, 12 is not a very good place to be. Hmm?
So one more factor here, which is Mars, which is in the ninth house. It is also the ninth lord. So, which is also the Karaka for marriage. So, her Bhagya can be linked to her marriage in that sense.
And Mars is in the nakshatra of Mercury.
Right,
It's again the fourth and seventh lord. And also the karak of document.
right.
So now she's supposed to come, I don't know exactly when, this month or next month. Should she come like that only, or is it better that she cancels the trip and the father looks for some, because she's of marriageable age, so looks for some boy.
Yes. Then इसमें we can see कि Hora is of Mercury and the Lord is Mars. That is also trying to relate to कि Mars is the efforts towards the like opposite person.
Where is Mars? Hora is Mercury and what is Mars?
Mars is the Lord, na?
Lord of what?
Hora का.
Mercury is the Hora lord.
Venus is the Lord.
Hmm?
Mercury is here. Mercury, Venus.
Then why it is written Horai के आगे Mercury and then
No, don't
Mars?
see this. Don't see this. You see Mercury. That is the. I don't know what this is for. I have to find out what this is for. Mercury over here. The Lord is Venus.
So Venus also be considered for marriage, na?
Venus is a relationship. Venus is also the natural seventh Lord. Venus is
So,
the.
so my so my interpretation would be, see, the moon is approaching the Udayam, so there is travel associated in a future. The fourth lord, which is of home and Sukhastan,
Always catch the nakshatra Lord. Moon is coming to this. That you're right. It's travel. But Moon ka nakshatra Lord कौन है? Ketu.
Ketu hai.
Travel related to cut.
Yeah, so probably currently she would come back as if she may not be able to go back to US. And the fourth lord, which is Sukhastan, her home ka lord, which is Mercury, which is also her spouse lord, which is in the sixth house. At the same time, Mars, there is that marriage factor. So my understanding of this would go as like, let her come back, then they can start the marriage, whatever, like they, which her coming back could lead to marriage, and through marriage she can probably go back to US. That would be more stable way to interpret it, I feel.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is there are two options. One is that she doesn't come back and gets
Hmm.
married there or whatever, it or stay there only. And second thing is that she comes here but she'll not be able to go back unless she gets married and then goes back. So in this question only now, Manasi.
So, but then in that case, say she gets married, I don't know, 6 months down the track or whatever, do we then start from scratch and look at that guy's chart and her chart and see if she can go back?
This chart is, we are asking this chart whether first of all she should come back. If she comes back, whether she'll be able to go back. If she cannot go back, what are the options? That's what Chitrang is giving one option to that. Now, first of all, to take it further on Chitranga, this thing, let us see about a marriage first of all, no, whether marriage over here is seen or not. So, seventh house is Badak first of all. That Badak Lord is seated in the 12th house. What is that trying to say? So, in fact, it is trying to show that she will have a problem getting married abroad because 12 to the
Hmm.
7th, 12 to the 7th, 7th is marriage, 12 to the 7th is foreign. The Badak Lord has gone and sat there. The marriage ka Lord has gone and sat there, that is correct. But it also happens to be the Badak. It's also the Hora, so it's trying to tell you something. And Mercury in Venus. So basically, I think, I have to think a little deeper, but the thing is, marriage ka Lord is seated in the anti-marriage ka house and also as a Badak. And 12th, if you see, anti-marriage ek ho gaya, it also talks about foreign. No? 12th to the 7th will be foreign this thing. So there is a possibility that, and which is actually a fact, he is trying left, right and center, but no proposal is working out. So,
So probably the easier option is for her to cancel her trip for now.
so that is that now we have to use the logic whether out of the two, because the second part maybe you all are not aware of, which I told you just now, that they are trying but not happening. And वैसे there is nothing wrong with the girl, looks wise or intellectual wise or whatever. She is a normal girl, so ऐसे भी नहीं है कि शादी नहीं हो सकती, but नहीं दिख रहा है इसमें. I think you all analyze this further later on, but I have a feeling these are the two options. One is that don't make the trip just now. Second one is actually three options. Second one is look for a fellow there only and see if she can get married, which is difficult. Or third, like what Chitra is saying, come here, get married to a foreigner and go there, which is not happening.
In this case, she can stay back there. Meanwhile, her father should keep searching, and then once things start getting better, then she can come and
Something like that.
coming back right now is not an option immediately for her until unless she has a possibility or she has a proposal in her.
Basically, if you see this, no, the Udayam Lord and the 10th Lord, which is the person and the career, is seated in the 8th house of obstacles, coming towards Kavipu. And Kavipu is catching Mercury, which is the 4th and the 7th. So, in a way, all this is connected to 4th, which is Bombay, and 7th, which is her husband. So, I am of the opinion that her career, her job, and even 6th house is a house of job. So her job,
Sir, is she in some relationship, sir?
she was, which broke off. Which broke off. That is what even I was seeing earlier also.
Because from this, so one more thing, let's assume that she stays in US. Okay. Then what would happen is basically she is not engaging her Saturn as the 12th lord. Okay, for again, because from where she is, 12th would be foreign. For now, it can be considered as India also. Okay, so then the Saturn in third house means that she has to probably change her residence where she is right now. She has to bring about that change just to stay in US also, because there may be some issues which are there currently where she is as well, because again the her current home would be Mercury again, fourth lord.
Why are you catching Saturn? Are you catching Saturn because it is seated in the third house of documentation?
And third house of, because Saturn is the 12th lord also, no sir.
Correct. So 12th Lord of Loss in the third house of documentation. That you
Hmm.
are changing to 12th house of foreign in the third house of change of residence.
Change of residence, because if she's staying there, then that will change. Hmm.
And actually speaking, now that was another question. Just now I realized the father had called me yesterday. So that job is getting changed. Okay, that
Hmm.
might be the catch. 1 minute. So that job which he's presently in is most probably going to ask her to
Relocate.
relocate. Like let's say she's in Bombay and they are saying go and work in New Bombay. So rather than
Hmm.
traveling up and down, she might most probably need to relocate. So if she
Isn't Saturn also career?
Saturn is career, but Saturn also over here the 12th and 11th lord, no?
Hmm.
And if you see in the 11th house, see 12th house snake is there. Snake is what? Snake is something back
Confusion.
confusing. And sun is the 6th lord of job.
Hmm.
Barabar? So all this that Saturn, like what Chitrang is saying, is seated in the third house of documentation, which is the main thing now. So if she, one option is Saturn, 12th lord of loss, third house of documentation. Other option is, and third is also change of residence. So wo abhi filhal रहने दो. So if she changes her residence, I think that documentation ka problem will get cleared. Yeah, that's a good point. That I can recommend it. So because of शादी का तो नहीं हो रहा है, but change of residence is anticipated just now. So I think she should change the residence, and then think of coming here, because otherwise that it will become anti.
सर आपने शुरू में एक चार्ट बताया था कि रेमेडी के तौर पे शिफ्ट कर सकते हैं बाकी के हाउसेस की कंडीशन को, तो वहां से 12th हाउस के सिचुएशन को चेंज कर सकते हैं ना?
No, the thing is basically that I use that Astro Vastu principle. Basically, if there is an obstacle, the obstacle क्या है? So she has gone, and now if you want to do a remedy on this, the Udayam Lord has gone and sat in the 8th house of obstacles. बराबर? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is east, south, west. So in the west of the house, this Jupiter has gone and sat. So some Jupiter-like element must be there in her house, which could mean some big copper ka vessel, or it could mean some something which is like oxygen related, something like that, or it could be a big painting of a sun or something like that, Surya, or some Guru ka photo, teacher, Guru, something like that, Bhagwan ka, something like that, is there in the west of the house. So that needs to be looked into. That is also another point of remedy.
Could be
So, do we
cold.
have a D1 and Noma? Sorry, please continue. Sorry.
Hey, Chitra, go.
So, do we have a D1 and Noma, sir?
Yeah, but I have not got. Abhi मैंने ये just 10 minutes before the thing I made this. I'll make that also and share it.
Sir, because in that we just need to check her Bhagya factor in both D1 and Navmasa, how strong her ninth house is, because this indicates two options. If she wants to stay in US, she has to make certain drastic changes, with which also they are a little uncertain because Saturn is approaching debilitation now. Okay, which is her again the career lord, and that is approaching Aries.
Correct.
So that is one part, and so even that is not a very concrete or a very solid option. And second is coming back where we are relying basically on our bhagya to do everything. Bhagya related to marriage, bhagya and marriage to do everything. So if
what you see also correct, because see, if you see the Udayam Lord is seated in a house where actually Saturn gets exalted, career gets
right,
but the career is moving towards a point of debilitation. So this is
right,
also another hint which is saying that if that person moves with 8,000 major transformation, some change. So if she
right.
does that change, then the Saturn moves over there and the career goes for a toss.
So but she has to move. It's like that. Like even if she's in US, she has to move, and if she comes to India, she is already moving. So it doesn't seem that she has an option of moving or not. So if she is moving, so basically if she's coming to India, then the circuit that we are seeing is all coming down to her bhagya, her how her luck, her that aspect works. So if her ninth house is strong in her D1 and Navmasa both, okay, then she can probably bet on that. And if she has a strong will to come back to India, then she can take that path. If she feels that no, that thing is like there is Mercury in ninth house or something like that in her D1 or D9, then it is better that she stays there for a while. It will be a tough time, but she wears a few months, like maybe this Antardasha or something, she just goes through it, and then she can reassess how she wants to go ahead.
Awesome. Manasi was saying something? Manasi?
Can't remember now. But no, I agree with Chitrang. Maybe it's lesser damage. Maybe some difficulty, but lesser damage if she stays there.
But now Chitra, one another question. Here we are saying change of residence is one of the solution.
Hmm.
Now if she comes to India, that is also in a way change of residence too.
Yes, sir. So, but in that case, again, so here we have to look at it from 2 points. One, where she is looking at foreign travel, okay, or she is not looking out for travel and staying where she is.
Correct. So that
So the karak tattvas are changing in both cases, no?
so third house can mean away from home, which is away from,
Right,
and third house also means change of residence. So both, if you put together, it means change of residence in USA away from Mumbai.
right,
So I
right.
think it is all boiling down to that she should stay there, take the change of job to go to that other place wherever she is going, New Bombay, let us say, whatever it is. That will be the rectification for this, and that might help her later on to get that H1 thing, and then she can come here.
Maybe.
So anyway, ठीक है? Anything else you want to ask or discuss? So what we'll do is, from now on, what I'll be doing is, through the week, I'll keep sharing live cases which are going on in the group. I would expect you all to first not see my purple ka text, do it on your own. Then check the purple ka text, cross check. And if you come up with some point which is beyond that, you please share that on the group. Don't just shy out ki how to say that. Just say it, because many times I have realized even I miss out on a lot of points. And somebody tells, I suddenly a new track comes to the mind. So don't, no ego issues there. So check the things and keep sharing, because now I'm here, so I'll be able to look into more cases now, and I'll keep sharing it every day. ठीक है? चलो, bye bye. See you. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye bye.